welcome to this edition of Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zarilla. Glad you're with us on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Coming up on this edition, we're going to tell you how to get your tickets to the upcoming Charge promotional nights. Our Tips from the Pro segment is going to teach you how to be a better basketball player on the defensive end. Now we're going to go one-on-one with Charge and Cavaliers two-way forward Emoni Bates. But before that, for those of you new to the NBA G League, we're going to give you a crash course. For those of you familiar, a refresher course on what the NBA G League is going to look like for the 2024-2025 season. The NBA G League consists of 31 teams, with each NBA team having a G League affiliate, Mexico City being the 31st team. Now, the tip-off tournament schedule is similar to the NBA in-season Emirates Cup tournament, consisting of 4 regions or pods: the Central, East, South, and West. The Central Showcase Cup pod consists of the Charge, Mad Ants, Skyforce, Bulls, Crews, Gold, Wolves, and Herd. These teams will only play each other during the first 14 games of the season, with the teams consisting of the other 3 pods doing the same. The 4 teams with the best winning percentage in each pod, along with the next 4 teams with the best winning percentage, regardless of region, will advance to compete for the NBA G League Winter Showcase Championship from December 19th to December 22nd in Orlando, Florida. Teams not qualifying for the championship tournament will play 2 games during the Winter Showcase for a total of 16 games to begin the season. Following that, the regular season schedule begins. All teams will play a total of 34 regular season games, with records resetting to 0-0 following the Showcase tournament for a full 50-game schedule. After the completion of the 34-game regular season schedule, the top 6 teams in each conference will advance to the postseason. The top 2 teams in each conference will earn a bye, while the other teams will play a single elimination playoff, culminating in a best-of-3 championship series. Now, if you're looking to find the Charge to watch or listen, there will be 12 Charge home games to be broadcast on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. All Charge games stream free on NBAGleague.com, and all Charge games can be heard on the free Cleveland Charge mobile app. And don't forget to come on down to check out the Charge. Get your tickets at clevelandcharge.com. So there you have it, all you need to know for the 2024-2025 NBA G League season. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to go one-on-one with Cavaliers two-way forward Emoni Bates. This is Charge Fast Break on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. And welcome back to Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zarilla, and it is a real pleasure to welcome in the two-way forward for the Cavaliers, Emoni Bates. Emoni, great to see you again. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm good.
Good. All right, your rookie season is behind you, into the second year. How did you spend your off season? Travel? Did you try to play a little ball? Just relax? What'd you do?
Overall, to be honest, I just focused on my body this summer. I gained 30 pounds during the off season, so I traveled a little bit. I really couldn't play as much because my knee is lingering, but I really didn't know anything until I got my MRI. So, I hoped as much as I could, but my summer was good, man. I just focused on getting stronger, mentally preparing myself for this second year and just ready to get back to hooping.
Well, it is great to have you back for a second year. So you've been to Cleveland. You've been in Cleveland for over a year. How do you like the city overall? How do you like the organization?
I love Cleveland, man. I love the city. I love the fans. I just love everything about it. It's a good culture down here. It kind of reminds me of home, so I feel comfortable.
I was going to say Detroit and Cleveland has that similar type vibe. Sure. So your rookie season, everybody has those ups and the downs. You did, like everybody does. How would you, when looking back, how would you assess your rookie season?
I feel like I definitely had a lot of growing to do. Just, 19 years old, first year in the NBA, really supposed to be a sophomore in college, but I feel like I hit a lot of bumps, had a lot of good things happen to me, but overall I just learned a lot last year, just us going to the playoffs, just being able to see that type of basketball, being up and down from the G League to the NBA, just learning the schedule of being a pro, and that's the biggest thing for me.
So with that season under your belt, you played in Vegas Summer League. How would you say your game is today, knee surgery aside, your game today compared to what it was at this time last year?
I'm more aware. Definitely know more things. I feel like I'm going to be more of a leader this year, just on my first year. Stronger, of course. Be able to take bumps and just mentally just lock in on the simple things, defense. Just try to be an all-around player this year.
How about the plan for the second year with the coaching staff? Kenny Atkinson, now the new coach. Chris Darnell, you're familiar with him, but now he is the head coach. What have you, and again, knee surgery aside, have you tried to really focus on the X's and O's of your game to get better, to take the next step? What have you been working with?
Really just focusing on the things that they want me to do down here, and then up there, it's definitely going to be different. You know, you got guys with the ball in their hands. Might just need me to go out there, rebound, catch and shoot. But overall, I mean, I feel comfortable with my coaches. I mean, I talk to both of them on a daily basis. I mean, the goal is to get an NBA contract and get on an NBA team. So, I mean, I know they're going to help me and push me. So, I mean, I'm ready for the challenge for sure.
But you feel like you've taken a step already from last season?
For sure.
Because it's got to be very important for that to do, because you can't get from point A to point C until you get to point B, correct?
Definitely took a big step. Just being around the guys, being around pros all summer, you know what I mean? I just got to watch a lot and learn. I watched a lot of film on myself, so I know the areas I need to grow in. You know, I'm just ready to attack the second year.
The Cavaliers, very good last year, very good again this year. You've been around such pros, the luxury of having a Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, etc. Not even just playing with them on the floor, but just being around them. How are you able to, what can you take from them? Watching them, seeing how they do things to make you better for your second season?
I take a lot of things from them, just their professionalism, like how they come in on time, being early, recovery, just all the little things that matter. You got to take care of your body. You know, I watch Donovan a lot just because he's a leader. And, you know, that's something that I want to do, is just be a leader and help others. So, I mean, the way they do it, I mean, they do it the best. So,
sure.
For sure.
Now, as I mentioned, you know, all rookies have their ups and downs, which, as we said, you did. But you spent a lot of time with the Charge, had a terrific season for the Charge. How much did that help you kind of keep the game where you wanted it to be when you played with the Charge?
To be honest, I feel like when I came to the Charge, I was able to be myself, be able to play freely. Had good games, had bad games. That's part of it. But really just figuring it out this year, how more consistent I can be this year. Be more vocal. It's my second year. I was leading scorer last year. Just trying to help my teammates be a better passer, rebounder, just defensive. I just want to be all around, you know what I mean, all around game. So
I mentioned Chris Darnell moving over to the head coaching spot. Sam Clancy, Jerron Perkins, a couple of coaches back as well. How much does that help you when you're going to come and play for the Charge with that transition? Again, keep taking the next step.
It's definitely going to help me a lot because I'm familiar with those guys. So, I mean, they know my game. They know what I can do. They see me in the summer. I was here a lot. So, I mean, I know they know I'm ready. I'm just ready to get out there and get healthy for sure.
You got the big smile on your face. You bring a smile to a lot of fans' faces because they love to watch you play. I traveled with you guys last year. No matter where we're at, people are calling your name. How does that make you feel?
It made me feel good, man. I mean, just to have support behind me. You know, the fans. I mean, a lot of people don't get that. So for me, I try to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? I don't try to be too excited. Don't get too down because it can go up and down. But I love my fans and the people that support me for sure.
How much does that feed into you when you're playing to get that energy from the fans to help you play? Because you seem like you feed off of it, do you?
I definitely feed off the fans. I mean, you've been to a couple games where I got a hot streak going, so the fans definitely fuel me for sure.
That is the perfect lead-in to my last question. For those of us that will never experience it and can never do it, you've got to explain to us what it's like to get into one of those zones of yours when you're not just making a couple of shots, you're making threes from like 25 feet and you're making 3 and 4 of them in a row. What is that like? How do you balance the staying in the zone, staying hot, taking shots without getting out of, you know, team basketball? Because it looks like so much fun with
It definitely is. I mean, my teammates, man. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do that. So, like, they be having me.
That's not true. That's not. Hold on. I got to interrupt. That's not true. They're not shooting it for you.
No,
you're shooting it.
No, you're right. Yeah.
How does it feel, like literally in your hands, when you just know that I've got to take this shot, and you make a couple that I'm going to take another because I'm just there?
To be honest, man, it's just like a rhythm thing for me. Like, just a rhythm. Like, I know I've been playing basketball for a long time, so it's like I see one go in, see two in a row, the rims just get bigger and bigger, and it's like I work on my game a lot, so it's like I'm confident in myself for sure.
Well, it is a lot of fun to watch you play, and we're glad that you are back with us this year, my friend.
My guy.
Get healthy soon, and we will talk to you soon, okay, pal? All right, that's Emoni Bates. We're going to take a time out. This is Charge Fast Break on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Right back on Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zarilla. Time for tips from the pros. And it's a pleasure to welcome in point guard from the Charge, Jacob Gilyard. Jacob, thank you for taking some time. You might wonder why I brought Jacob aboard. Well, the all-time leader in college basketball history in steals, 466. Quite an accomplishment. You didn't know that?
I didn't know the number. I knew it was a good amount.
You didn't know the number?
I just knew the number I think I had to beat 385.
Well,
I think was the number I had to beat.
That I don't know. I just know you had 466 in your collegiate career. And another interesting stat, you surpassed Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson for most steals as a freshman at Richmond. Have you talked to him about that? Have you given him a hard time?
Not since I've seen him in person. We've talked about it on the phone before a little bit. He's had a couple records. I think I like to think that I took from him, but you know, it's all good.
It's impressive. That's why we want to talk to you. Defensive, playing guard, and being a good defender, coming up with steals. When a guy is coming up with the basketball, kind of what are your first thoughts when you see him? Are you trying to set something up? Is it just all team defense, or what are you thinking?
I think it starts before the game even tips off. You know, I mean, I think a lot of the steals I've gotten are just from kind of doing my homework and watching film. I like to think I'm a pretty high IQ basketball player, so I study the game a lot. So I think that's where it all starts. And then going into the game, you look for any kind of hesitation on the offensive player. But you can't really be tentative in what you do. Everything's got to be aggressive, and if you're going to go for a steal, you got to fully go for it.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second, but you mentioned your homework. Tendencies, probably a lot of something too. So you say different players, you've seen them a couple of times. You kind of, after a while, I'm sure, get to know what the guy can and cannot do and where you might be able to get him, correct?
Yeah, for sure. As the game goes on, you kind of, even if you want to feel the game out early, you know what I mean, and then you start to take your chances later in the game. As you get a feel for the player and the other team and kind of what their scheme is or who has it going, it's kind of game to game. A lot of it's personnel based and stuff like that, but just kind of understanding how the flow of the game's going and then trying to take your advantages there.
All right, well, it's not going to be the easiest way to do this, but we're going to bring in Coach Deron Perkins to help us out. Coach, we appreciate that. So, Jacob, we always hear about being a good defensive player, especially for a guard. Got to get into that good defensive stance, correct? Why don't you show us kind of something like that?
For sure. It always starts with a low. Luckily, as being a small guard, I'm a little lower to the ground than most. So being lower is obviously better. But you start with a low stance. You want to be as wide as you can be with your arms. Feet probably want to be even, shoulder width apart. And you're not watching the ball. I think that's the biggest mistake in anybody guarding. I don't think you want to watch the ball ever, just because you look at so many fakes. If you watch the feet, you get so many fakes. You kind of want to keep your eyes square on his chest, square on his hips, and then that's kind of what you're looking at.
Okay, so now you're in the defensive stand. You've got to have good footwork. We hear about that in basketball. Talk about that.
A lot of the footwork, I wouldn't say is guessing. You have to be laterally quick, though. You obviously, as a defense, you're in a disadvantage. Offensive player gets to make his first move, so now I'm at a disadvantage because he gets to pick where he wants to go. He goes that way, I have to be able to push and be able to cut him off. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. The lower you are, the quicker you are. You kind of have to have an instinct for guarding because the offense is clearly at an advantage. And so kind of just trying to counteract that is with your feet, being quick on your feet and kind of just assuming, studying, and just kind of knowing where the offense wants to go.
Now, you can't be a good defensive player if you're lazy.
For sure.
So we've talked about the feet, but you also don't steal with your feet. You got to steal with your hands.
100%.
I've been watching you a lot. You've got those active hands. Talk about that. Because again, real quick, you've got to have active hands, but you can't have.
You can't foul.
Yeah.
You can't foul. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't want to reach anywhere and just kind of smack the guy wherever. You kind of got to know where the ball is going. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the ball can only go a couple places when he's dribbling. The ball can only go up and down. You know what I mean? So it's active hands. You don't want to just reach. You know what I mean? You want to reach and try and not touch his body. So if he crosses, my hand's here already anticipating it. I'm low, and I'm just kind of anticipating the ball's coming my way.
When I was young and I was taught, and this was a long time ago, but it was don't slap down, slap up, correct? Talk about that.
I wouldn't necessarily always agree. I think when you slap down, you're more likely to get his hand.
Correct.
When you slap up, you're more likely to get the ball is the idea. On a lot of my steals, I swipe down. And I think that's just kind of with the lateral quickness that we talk about. When I'm in a low stance and he goes to his spot, I'm here. In order for him to shoot this ball, it has to go in front of him.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so if I was to swipe up, I'm not at the advantage because the ball, I have to follow it. You know what I'm saying? And so as I swipe down, he's bringing the ball right into where my hand would be.
I gotcha.
So that's my philosophy on that one.
That's okay, because again, I said when I was taught, that was a long, long time ago. Things have changed. All right, let's talk about steals specifically. When do you decide to go for a steal? Is it instinct? Is it reflex? Are you setting the guy up? Is there, like we talked earlier, you just kind of know what he likes to do? What is that thought process?
There's so many different ways to get steals. It's so much that goes into it. Like I said, throughout the flow of the game, you want to take your chances sporadically. You don't want to just go for every single steal, and then you kind of get backdoored, and they take advantage of you there. But as the game goes on, if you want to get off-ball steals, you set your man up. You know what I mean? If somebody has the ball at top and you're looking to pass the ball this way, I want that man up top to think that I'm not close enough to the defender. And then you use your speed to get around the screen or whatever it may be as he's coming off, and use your speed to anticipate the passing lanes. Now, if he's on the ball, it's a little different. Like I said, you just kind of want to be in front. You don't want to just continuously reach, but you know as soon as you cut him off this way, he's got to make a move that's going back to the other hand, because he can't go this way anymore. As long as I'm here in front of him, you expect whatever change of direction, but you're anticipating the cross here, low, and you should be able to steal the ball.
Anticipation leads me to my next question, because I see you with a lot of steals off the ball. Guys cross court. That's got to be a little bit something interesting as well. You're defending this guy, not letting him get too far away. The action's over here. How are you kind of eyeballing that type of a situation?
I'm treating it like a free safety. I don't know if the coaches love this, but I usually try and treat it like a free safety. I'm kind of roaming. I have my vision of my man. I have the vision of where the ball is going to be. And this is kind of where you go back to that anticipation and that film study, and this is where your homework comes into play. You kind of know what the offense wants to do. You know who, if you're a guy that's guarding a player that's supposed to get the ball in certain situations, if he's hot, has he made a couple of shots, now he wants the ball and he's starting to run it down, is a point guard, maybe a second string point guard, he's not looking to be as creative or be as aggressive, and now he's looking to get off of it. You know what I'm saying? So you start to study the game and the guys on the court, and you're trying to take advantage of certain situations.
Good little nuggets. Okay, last one. Perk, come on down here real quick. Big men. I like to kind of drop in on the big guys, right, and kind of steal and when they're not paying attention.
100%.
What is the thought process on that? So,
if Perk had the ball,
no, actually more of if I give it.
You have the ball, 100%.
If I'm going to,
so
you'll be on me. Jacob, you're going to cover me, and I drop it to the big man, then you drop down onto him.
And now I'm digging here.
Yeah, you're going to dig. There you go.
So like I said, the ball can only go a couple places. It can go down and it can go up. You know what I mean? So as he's taking his dribbles, I'm timing it. He's looking at me. I'm messing with him. I'm playing a little bit of both. As soon as I see that last dribble, then I'm going to get it.
Okay.
So you don't want to go right away. You don't want to go too late. But you want to pick your chances. As soon as you stunt with him, make him think a little bit, and as soon as he thinks you're not there, that's when you take advantage of it.
466 steals right there. Jacob, real quick, again, keeping it simple, how would you tell youngsters at home to play a little bit better man-to-man defense? Make it simple for them.
Better man-to-man defense, I think, at the end of the day, basketball is, there's two sides to it. There's offense and there's defense. You can't take one possession off of either. So I think defensively, you have to kind of take it personal. You have to take a lot of pride in it. If it bothers you that your man scores, you'll be pretty good at it.
Jacob, appreciate the time.
Appreciate
Good
you.
stuff as always. All right, so that'll do it for this Tips from the Pros. We need to take another time out. You're watching Charge Fast Break on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Putting the wraps on this edition of Charge Fast Break. Well, as we said at the top, we want to get you down to a Charge game for all the promotional events that we've got all season long, and maybe none more important than opening weekend, December 13th and 14th at the new Charge home, Cleveland Public Hall. We can't wait to see you there. Friday the 13th will be Public Hall t-shirt and rally towel giveaway for the first 5,000 fans, while on Saturday the 14th, the first 1,500 fans receive a Charge Up portable charger giveaway. There'll also be 14 giveaways remaining this season, including an Emoni Bates bobblehead, Luke Travers mullet giveaway. That's fantastic. I saw that. And a Sam Money Merrill bank, and much more. Also, 6 themed jersey nights, retro 90s Cavs black and blue, think Terrell Brandon, Marvel superhero jersey, and Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite inspired jerseys, plus post-game autographs and free throws following most games. For a list of promotions and giveaways, head to clevelandcharge.com/promotions. Also, don't forget holiday plans presented by the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. Pick any 3 Charge games and receive an equal number of free general admission tickets to the Cleveland Museum of Natural History and equal number of free tickets to Disney on Ice, Let's Dance at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, a Charge knit hat, as well as a Charge fleece blanket for select games, with plans starting at only $45. I told you that's a lot of great stuff. Get your tickets at clevelandcharge.com. Now, the Charge are going to be out of town for a little bit. Sunday and Tuesday, they will be at Motor City taking on the Crews. The games will be at 6 o'clock on Sunday, 7 o'clock on Tuesday. You can tune in for all my play-by-play on the free Cleveland Charge mobile app. So that's going to do it for this edition of Charge Fast Break. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.